It started out with me trying to make a bowl, and then a spoon, and then finally just this little heart. But it made someone smile, and that made me smile. It all started a couple weeks ago when we got these crazy winds for about 48 hours, and eventually it led to knocking over this oak tree. And that gave me an idea based on the 314 people that watched my last video and the 2 that actually unsubscribed. So I decided to lug the saw down there and see if I can make a bowl. There I am. I finally made it. Now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you dumbass. You just cut this tree down. You know it's going to be wet and this bowl's probably going to crack. But I'm impatient, so whatever. One of my favorite tools is the lathe. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know much about it. I can make baseball bats and table legs all day long, but I've always wanted to turn bowls. Yeah, I feel like I need to learn how to turn bowls so I can get those 2 subscribers back. I think that's what they want to see. I mean, I know the basic process because I've actually, watched YouTube videos and they make it look really simple. What I'm trying to do here is to make it cylindrical, a solid, perfect circle. And then I start shaping the bowl. And I don't really have anything in mind. I just want to be proud to eat a big bowl of Frosted Flakes out of it. It is very satisfying, though, to see the shape coming along and actually see a bowl. Holy shit, there's a bowl. Kind of. Do I say bowl weird? I feel like I say bowl weird. Anyway, once you get the basic shape, you got to make like a nipple right there. I mean, I don't really know what it's called, but I like to say nipple. Because in the next step, you have to hook it to this clamp, which I don't really know what that's called either, but that's what the nipple's for. It goes in the clamp. That way you can turn the inside of the bowl. This is the part that makes me nervous, because sometimes I get it right, and sometimes this happens. Yeah, that usually happens more often than not. I think it's from holding my tool the wrong way, or maybe gripping my tool a little too tight. I don't know. Could be the nipple. Maybe the nipple's not big enough. This is starting to remind me of my golf game. It's like when you go out to the first tee box and you blast a drive straight down the fairway. You set up for your next shot. You chili dip it. It goes about 10 yards in front of you. And you walk up to the green. And everybody's laughing at you as they drink your beer. Then you putt it like 5 times too many. Not gonna lie, it is frustrating. But just like golf, when I start playing bad, I just kind of slow things down and go back to the basics. I'll eventually figure it all out again. And just like my middle school shop teacher told me, it's not the size of the tool, it's how you use your tool. Whoa, that's kind of creepy now that I think about it. I can tell you though, this oak was like cutting into concrete. The next day when I woke up, my wrists, my fingers, my shoulders, everything just hurt. After a long night of fooling with this thing, I was about to call it quits. I was happy that I had a bowl, or what looked like a bowl. Finally, a couple days later, I made it back to the shop, and looky there, a couple cracks. I knew it. I knew this thing would crack. Yeah, don't judge me. I'm wearing the same shirt. I mean, it's dirty. Why would I get another shirt dirty? So anyway, I found this old fiberglass resin epoxy stuff that I tried to fix a John boat with about 10 years ago. And yeah. I'm thinking this epoxy resin may have gone bad. It says to use plastic cups, and I didn't have any, so I just used this old packaging from a chainsaw blade. It should be fine. This Resin has been in my shop for years, and my shop doesn't have any heating or cooling, so needless to say, it does freeze several times. I'll walk down here, and if there's liquid, it's frozen. But I figured, what the hell? I don't want to drive into town and buy more. Let's just see if this works. So I precisely measured everything out as it says. And it says to use some fancy applicator I didn't have, so I figured this piece of wood I found on the ground would work. I mixed it up. It said that you could use it in about 5 minutes and it would harden in about 20. And after about an hour later, this is what it looked like. I'm pretty sure that's not what it's supposed to look like. I remember as a kid, I would get the biggest bowl I could find, fill it full of frosted flakes, and just dump sugar on top. Find a wooden spoon and just eat it. So I'm gonna make a wooden spoon. But I found a few cracks in this wood, and I had to test its durability. And it did not pass. But don't worry, the bowl's fine. It still has its same cracks and the epoxy that still hasn't dried. I'm feeling pretty defeated at this point, but I had a couple hours before I had to go pick up the kids from school, so I figured I gotta at least accomplish something. Now there's this epoxy everywhere. It's stuck to everything. I don't even know what to do. So I just started sketching out this heart. I thought, maybe I'll just carve a heart, give it to one of the kids. This is one of my other favorite tools, the scroll saw. And it's come in pretty handy. I used to have a bandsaw. I think I let somebody borrow it and never got it back. Anyway, but it works good enough to cut this heart out. And then I had to shape it somehow. And this oak is freaking hard. It's kind of annoying. And I thought maybe I'll clamp it down. Maybe not. So I used my Dremel tool, and all I was doing was burning the wood practically and just running out of sandpaper. And it's got to be a different way. So I broke out the big sander. And yeah, I think that piece of sandpaper may be about 10 years old. So this really wasn't working that great either. So once I got somewhat of a heart shape, I went back to the Dremel, and it did a little better this time. It was at this point I realized, why the hell am I doing this? I mean, who wants to watch a grown man carve a heart and sand it for hours? I don't know. But it got me thinking. I'm making these videos so my kids can watch them one day and laugh and smile. You know, one day when I'm not here, they'll have these memories, the things I made, the things I gave them. I mean, I would give anything to see what my dad did in his spare time. I guess it's like a worry stone. You know, those stones you have to like pay a lot of money for and rub them. But usually, you know, when you're just out hiking or walking, you find this one stone and you just kind of play with it, put it in your pocket, forget about it. And then you wash your clothes and you hear something banging around in the washer and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to take that out of my pocket. I mean, it resembles a heart, but it's not perfect. It's like me. And when I give it to the kids, they can put it in their pocket. And it'll remind them of me. Then they'll remember not to do stupid shit because they know I'm watching.